Good morning. We discussed many topics for revenue, for pricing, for cost structure, managing food cost, even inventory, and many more topics. And to reach the best level, each party, that is chef, the finance director, sales director, general manager, even the investors and the owners are involved in the process. Because to get a best deal, which can be a sales contract or even going to the bank to get the fundings by the entrepreneurs, by the investors, everything needed negotiation. Everyone is a negotiator. A negotiation is done, it helps directly in the business, in sustaining the business. So today we're going to talk about negotiation. We're going to talk about a negotiator. Who's a negotiator? What is the quality? How the negotiation happens? To be a good negotiator, there are 5 things which need to be considered. The first one is the active listener. For a good negotiation, you have to be active listener. You have to listen everything what the other party is talking. Whatever they're mentioning, you have to be active listener, which means you don't interrupt them, just listen to them. The second is effective communicator, because whatever you are speaking, the other party is listening, and whatever point is mentioned may be recorded and may be used in the negotiation. The third one is knowledge of product. If it is about the food supply, you need to know what product, what quality, what season. If it is about a maintenance contract, you need to know about the machine, which machine contract, what is needed, why it is needed. If it is a bank, the entire system, the profitability. So basically the knowledge of the product has to be very deep before going for a negotiation. And this knowledge of the product is data driven. You need to have certain data, certain past record to be effective in your points. The fourth one is the build trust. The fifth one, the last one, you should know when to walk away. Because negotiation is not an endless discussion. There is a full stop. And while going for a negotiation, we should know that's my point, this is my walk away point. Walk away does not mean you actually walk away physically, which means that's what you got stuck. You talk, you explain your things, and this is what you're going to make a deal. If you reach that point, we call it takeaway point. We all takeaway price. We always have a takeaway price in our mind. If I come and negotiate with you for, let's say, for this coffee or coffee mug, and the price is like 20, and I'm talking 15, but still I have a takeaway price in my mind. Okay, if you come down to 18, I may take it. But I start with 15, you start with 20, we're still talking. We start talking and we're trying to reach to certain point, but still in my mind there's a takeaway price. So takeaway price is very important. So you should know when to walk away. So if you have these 5 points, it makes you very effective in a negotiation deal. One of the effective strategy of negotiating a contract is a longer term, offering a longer term. This is the point which I spoke many times in my other episode also. When you offer a longer term contract, let's say instead of 12 months, you talk about 18 months or 24 months or even 3 years. It works. Why? Because the other party get a longer term commitment and he can concentrate on other business. One of the company I worked for many years back as a finance director, I did a deal for a longer term contract for the coffee machine. In a hotel, coffee machine contract is very important because maintaining a machine and having 4, 5, 6 machine is not an easy job, and then the price keep changing. So generally the hotel go for a longer term contract for the coffee machine. Coffee machine contract means the supplies and the machine both are provided by the company. We pay them per kg charges for the coffee, and we have a commitment so much coffee minimum kg will purchase per year. So what we did in that deal, we go for a longer term, we go for a 3 years instead of 2-year contract. And we make a deal for 2 tons of coffee, 2000 kg of coffee we'll purchase in 3 years, but we fixed a price. So this term work for the supplier because he's not worried about 3 years. He knows 2000 kg of coffee will be sold at a fixed price and he can concentrate in other part of business. And for us, we got a fixed contract for 3 years. We don't have to worry about the price change, price variation. It goes up or it goes down. And also our machines, we got a new machines. We don't have to worry about maintenance or other expenses on the machine. So longer term is a very effective strategy used in negotiating contracts. We have also classified the negotiation into 3 categories. That is hard negotiation, over negotiation, and tough negotiations. All these 3 to be avoided up to an extent. Why we avoid the hard negotiation? Because generally it creates a tense environment. It overshadows the relationship. When you talk about over negotiation, it's like modifying your terms frequently. You keep changing your terms in the negotiation and it becomes counterproductive. And the third one is tough negotiation, which is like very rigid. Either you take all or no choice. So if you don't give them any choice, or you say, okay, this is what it is. You take all the terms or you don't take anything. It doesn't work. So we have to avoid hard negotiations, over negotiation and tough negotiation. Although a portion of it can be included in your negotiation, but we have to be very careful for these 3 type of negotiations. How do we negotiate if we avoid the hard negotiation, tough negotiation, over negotiations? The important is don't get emotional. Emotion is a part which is played by many times by the other party. They try to talk about the relationship, how you're related, how much you know each other, what is a common practice between you. They try to make you emotion. So emotion is one part which the parties use during negotiation. So very important, don't get emotional. Again, I have pinpointed 5 points which need to be considered. First one is recognize your emotion. You should know when you're getting emotional, and everybody can find out when they're talking, when start getting emotional. So you have to recognize that point. That's the first one. Second is focus on solution. Just focus on solution. If I'm negotiating this cup, my entire focus is on this, my discussion, my talk. Be focused, because if you focused, it will help you to be away from the emotions, because the other party start talking and you come back to the same point. If your discussion start getting tense, take a break. Now again, take a break does not mean you walk away. Take a break, maybe sip a coffee or any sort of break. Take a break immediately. The moment you realize you start getting emotional or the other party try to bring you into emotions. The fourth point is be mindful of your words, because when you're emotional, your words start changing. You may be aggressive, you may be very passive, you can start talking which can be counterproductive to your deal. So be mindful of your words, and that's why taking a small break is important. And the fifth and the final one is the focus on the small wins to build a momentum. Because in a negotiation, it's not a 1 point, it's like 5 points, 6 points, sometimes 10, 12 points. They're small points, they're very major points, and some mediocre points. Try to take the small one in your favor. Start building momentum. Small wins are very important in any negotiation. Even in your employment contract, if you are going for a job, always list down 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 points. Try to take 1, 2, 3 small wins every time in any negotiations. Whether you are in a relationship or you're in a business deal or you're in employment, or you're talking to your friend. If there's a part come about negotiation, you're talking about some negotiating, always consider small and big points and try to win a small points, build momentum. So if you consider these 5 points, it will help you to stay away from the emotions, focus on your deal and get the best outcome. I will also explain how your message is perceived. We have a rule we call 7-38-55 rule. 7-38-55 rule. So what is 7-38 and 55 rule? So the 55% is your body language. When you sit in a negotiation as a negotiator, how your body language is. 55% of your win come from your body language. 38% come from tone, your voice, your facial expression. Are you friendly or not friendly, or you're aggressive? How you're looking at them. The facial expression is very important, and the tone. And the last 7% is the actual words, what you're speaking. So In a negotiation, as a negotiator, if I go, I know my words have a value, but not too much. My facial expression has a value, but this much. But my overall body language, how friendly I am, how I'm talking, how warm I am with meeting him. My body language is very important. That gives me 55% win, which means if my body language is good, a positive, I get 50% deal done at the start of the negotiation, and then the other things continue. So always remember this rule, 55, 38, 7. And finally, you should know when to land the plane. You can't be on the air full life. You have to land the plane at some point, which means you have to conclude the negotiation. And that's why you need to know what's my takeaway price. At what point I'm going to conclude it. I say, okay, this is what we are going to do. We have to decide before. Before going for a negotiation, a negotiator has to plan what he's going to talk, what he's going to present, and how he's going to close it. Conclude, land the plane. So I also land my plane now. I conclude this discussion. But before concluding this discussion on negotiation, I like to give 5 points. So today also I'll take away 5 points. The first is to collect the historical data before going for negotiation. Second, you give them enough chance to speak. The third one is a careful listener. You have to listen very carefully. You should not miss any point, because negotiation missing a point or speaking anything extra going to give you a different outcome. So careful listener. The fourth is calm posture. You need to look very calm. Don't be aggressive or a passive posture. Be calm. And the fifth one, which is most important in a deal, which all the negotiators follow, keep emotions away. And if you think you are emotional at a certain point, don't go for negotiation that day. A lot of people use it as a tactic to get the best deal. So for you, it's important, be a good negotiator, stay away from the emotions. That's all I have on negotiation. And I believe going through my points, what I mentioned today, and practicing those, you can become a very good negotiator. And negotiation is needed everywhere. You have to be a negotiator everywhere. And especially for the entrepreneurs, who's going to deal with the banks, the employees, the suppliers, the contractors, the guests, everywhere. This is a must skill. Everyone needs to have it. All the best to be a good negotiator. Don't forget to subscribe my channel to get access of such important topics to elevate your business. See you next time.